Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to Boss Rush Island 2. Today we are up against Blastapopoulos, but we're getting 86 pops. This is a pretty boring island, pretty easy to follow along. We're just going to be starting off with Sawed-On Strong in this kind of position to deal with balloons, and we're going to be tech-botting it, of course, and placing down a tack shooter. You just want to get this tack shooter as far down and to the left as humanly possible, because that way you'll be able to get it like 2 frames sooner. You'll be able to kill the boss. It's kind of annoying. I hate this start without like a spike factory because we just sit here and wait for 2 sawed abilities to go through the first skull, and then we're just kind of AFK until the tack shooter can hit. But hey, it's fine. While we're waiting, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and use code YOBOY, that's YOBOY, in the BTD6 store to support me. It helps motivate me to make more boss rush videos. Doesn't really make that much money, but hey, it's fun, I like money, and it costs you guys nothing to do. Finally, Blastapopoulos is kind of nearish my tack shooter, so we're going to start placing down a second one. You want to make sure to get the 3rd tier upgrade before you go for the bottom cross path, so just make sure it is a 302, and we're going to be placing down a bunch of these guys just kind of as soon as possible. The speed you do it in doesn't really matter too much, but I like to slow down the game just so I can get a nice and tight placement, and then I speed it back up while I wait for the skull to pop. We're going to get down just as many of them as we possibly can here. I think we go for 6 of them, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yep, we go for 6 of them, and up next we're going to be going for a 302 boomerang, as always by the 3rd tier and then by the bottom cross path. That's just what we do for primary monkeys. It's kind of tedious, and it's also why we don't use the free dart monkey, but hey, it saves money. Up next, we're going to be going for a 301 and then a 401 ice monkey. This is our embrittlement. It's going to be helping to debuff the boss and kind of help deal with these straggler balloons that get by as we go for a 204 overdrive, and then we upgrade our boomerang to a more glaives. We're then going to be going for another 204 and selling off some of these tack shooters who are no longer dealing much damage at all. And then we're going to go for a 204 balloon trap. I placed on a farmer here. It is highly recommended that, oh, by the way, this is 014, not 204, sorry. But yeah, we're just going to target it as high as possible, and I'd highly recommend the farmer. It's definitely a lot more important than the tech bot was, and if you're going to have to choose between one of those, I'd pick the farmer every time. Up next, we're going to be going for an Operation Dartstorm, and we get down a 202 village first just to buff it and kind of cheapen it. The bottom cross path isn't fully necessary, but hey, it's whatever. The Operation Dartstorm, you're going to want to be a 420 on Wing Monkey. That way it's going to help out with the camos and any other balloons that are leaking, but also just deal some good boss damage. Get down a 4th overdrive and work on selling things a little bit here. You're going to see that once we're at about $20,000 with 4 overdrives and an embrittlement, we can start selling them and get up the Sky Shredder. Blastapopoulos is known for being very annoying for selling things, so we might have some delays here like I had. Don't worry about it too much, you should be fine. Just get up the Sky Shredder when you can, and then we're going to go for an overclock ASAP. We're going to target the cleansing foam over the trap. That way we can make just a little bit more money with camo balloons. However, it's not that important. It's really fine either way because the trap is going to be filling up kind of fast on account of the fact that there's only one trap and we're not ever upgrading it to a big trap. The more glaives is no longer really useful, so if you can, sell it in order to get up your overclock faster. I couldn't, but it's just an option. Inside of the range of the village, ideally, we're going to be getting up 201 for ice monkeys. You can get the full metal cross path if you want to. They're really just here to stop Blastapopoulos from stunning anything anymore. It's really nice because we can get our ability cooldowns and we can actually have the Operation Sky Shredder work at full capacity. Here on out, the video is kind of boring, so I have it sped up at 1.3 times footage. But pretty much what we're doing is we get down another 202 village, and then we go for a 2nd balloon trap. This guy's gonna kind of break even. It's making some amount of money. It doesn't really matter that much. You can skip it if you want to. It kind of boosts us ahead by a couple of seconds, so it really doesn't matter much. But anyways, now we're just going to start. We're going to break the ice and then work on getting down 4 orcas who are of course going to become a Megalodon. The Megalodon is seen pretty much every map that we have water because it's extremely powerful. It's no Paragon, but on this map, trying to get a Paragon or using an MAD is not really worth it just because there's a wall at the end, and so we're just going to use the Megalodon for some quick burst damage and then get down a Flying Fortress later. So yeah, the Orca we're going to just put as far to the bottom right of this pool as possible so that it can start attacking the boss, and on strong targeting, you're going to see here that we have all 4 of our Orcas down, merged together, and that means that we can start saving for the Megalodon. The Ice Monkeys and the 2 Balloon Traps sell for a total of 16k, which means we need $30,000 saved up in order to afford the Megalodon. However, if you didn't go for the second Balloon Trap, you're going to need closer to $33,000. You know, it's just basic math, come on. Maybe 34,000, I'm not too sure. I failed addition, guys. That was a joke. I have a bunch of AP classes, and they're killing me. I do not enjoy the AP test, but hey, that's why I'm playing video games. Once we get down to Megalodon, it's got a really big range, so we can just put it in the top right-hand corner of the lake, and we're going to go for a second overclock, but more importantly than the second overclock is we're going to want to get down a bunch of 300 beast handlers. You can try to get them in range of the village, but what really matters is that they're in range of the pond so that you can actually upgrade them to 300. Just for example, I placed one up here, not because I'm skill issued, and you can see that we cannot upgrade to a 300. One more beast handler, and now we are at 132 power, which is the absolute max. I'm struggling to find the Megalodon, but as you can see, it's at 132 out of 132. And so yeah, just make sure it's in the top right hand corner, and get your overclock down. And now, so that we can actually use our overclocks, we're going to get down once again to 024 ice monkeys. I mean, like 2 of them. So it's 024 ice monkeys. You can see it's the bottom cross path, or no, it's the bottom path with the middle cross path. Wow, that was hard to say. Anyways, the last kind of thing we're getting is going to be 104 Spectre. This guy's going to become our Flying Fortress once the Megalodon's out of range. For now, it's kind of fine. We're going to get down an overclock to buff up the Spectre, but you know, for now we're just going to use it to have closer to full uptime on the Meg so that we can really just squeeze out a little bit of extra damage. You can see Blastapopoulos is about to turn this corner, which means the Meg will stop attacking, so I get ready to sell it, and yep, it stops attacking now. So we get up the 205 Flying Fortress, and now all that's left is we're going to start going for Call to Arms, and we can sell all this junk because the beast handlers are no longer really powerful. We get up a Homeland's Defense, and you can see here we're just going to be chilling with our 3 overclocks and both the Sky Shredder and Flying Fortress. There's not really anything else we can add. If you want to, you can get down a Cripple Moab, but it's really not going to add too much. This positioning kind of sucks, but there's no better positioning for it, of course. That wall is just really annoying. I hope this guide helped you all out, and I hope you guys can also get 86 or somewhere near there pops against this Blastapopoulos. Leave a like, subscribe, comment if you have any suggestions for either my voiceover or just for popping this Blastapopoulos a little bit sooner. Have a wonderful day. See you later. Bye.